please rise as the seniors enter the auditorium. Okay, thank you. You may be seated. Okay, good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Canfield High School National Honor Society induction ceremony for 2025. I'd like to welcome parents, grandparents, family members, our class, and faculty. I'd also like to welcome our superintendent, Mr. Joe Knoll, our assistant superintendent, Mr. John Vitto, and we have board member Dr. Betsy Alquist present. And I'm going to turn the program over to get us started to senior NHS member and officer, Ms. Sophia Nelson.
Welcome to the 2025 National Honor Society induction ceremony. The students we are about to introduce were selected and will be inducted to the Canfield chapter of the National Honor Society because they excelled in scholarship, character, leadership, and service. These four qualities are the founding pillars of NHS, as represented by the four candles we will soon light. The inductees are being escorted by their parents. As inductees are announced, they will come forward and receive their medals. Then, they will sign the membership book as having been inducted on April 16th, 2025.
Parker Alquist, escorted by Jeffrey and Betsy Alquist. Shanzi Bajwa, escorted by Soha and Danya Bajwa. Charlotte Bixel, escorted by Patrick and April Bixel. Chloe Blott, escorted by Robert and Sarah Blott. Anna Burnett, escorted by Richard and Kara Burnett. Grace Carrier, escorted by Joe and Amy Carrier. Kaylee Carney, escorted by Candace and Justin Carney. Brady Casey, escorted by Dina and Billy Casey. Sophia Castronova, escorted by Dante and Jennifer Castronova. Olivia Cruz, escorted by Ricardo and Courtney Cruz. Remy Deloy, escorted by Robert and Julene Deloy. Catherine Derringer, escorted by Stacy Derringer and Paul Lutton. Lydia Dorenzo, escorted by Lori and Bob Dorenzo. Sarah Doss, escorted by Bossum and Barb Doss. Samantha Economist, escorted by Nick and Michelle Economist. Maddie Facemeyer, escorted by Kristen Patch. Emma Geisler, escorted by Catherine and Mark Geisler. Lillian Gerst, escorted by Christine and Bob Gerst. Abigail Hollis, escorted by Jen and Jim Hollis. Jenna Havrilla, escorted by Bobby and Kelly Havrilla. Esther Igwe, escorted by Angela and John Igwe. Sophia Cadillac, escorted by Paul and Jennifer Cadillac. Anaya Khan, escorted by Dr. Asif Khan and Dr. Sharmeen Faruqi. Elise Kovach, escorted by Tony and Susan Kovach. Chloe Leskovac, escorted by John and Jennifer Leskovac.
Brennan Mitchell, escorted by Jackie and Dana Mitchell. Lainey Moderelli, escorted by Nick and Anissa Moderelli. Hadley Moser, escorted by Heather Moser. Yasmin Moufle, escorted by Holly and Castro Moufle. Jillian Palusak, escorted by Jeffrey and Julie Palusak. Michael Pantelakis, escorted by Dr. James and Marianti Pantelakis. Brooke Pluchinski, escorted by Jeff and Sherry Pluchinski. Jessica Robbins, escorted by Stephen and Jennifer Manning Robbins. Bryce Roberts, escorted by Nick and Robin Roberts. Leah Roman, escorted by Jody and Chris Roman. Brooklyn Roth, escorted by Bob and Amy Roth. Leah Solly, escorted by Mike and Nicole Solly. Natalie Sawicki, escorted by Tom and Christine Sawicki. Luke Scaleri, escorted by Lana Scaleri. Catherine Seamer, escorted by George and Stacy Seamer. Andrew Snyder was not able to be present today. Kayla Still, escorted by Kim and Christopher Still. Arden Taylor, escorted by Corey and Amethyst Taylor. Ava Timko, escorted by Lori Timko. Alexis Toporser, escorted by Greg and Lori Toporser. Hallie Toporser, escorted by Bobby and Stephanie Toporser. Lindsay Volnick, escorted by James and Laura Volnick. Nicholas Weber, escorted by Joanne Weber. Olivia Weber, escorted by Robert Weber.
At this time, Maya Kohal will speak on the pillar of character.
Good morning. It is my honor to stand before you today and speak about the first pillar, character, the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. Demonstrating your character is not just how you act in front of others, but how you hold yourself accountable when no one is watching. A person who displays respect, responsibility, and honesty is a person of character. Everyone sitting up here today has shown these qualities. Being a National Honor Society member is not just about being measured by your academic achievements or your community service hours, but also about your moral compass. Character defines who you are. In the kindness we demonstrate to others, the honesty we uphold in certain situations, but also in the way we show respect for others around us. It is not defined by just a moment in time, but by the choices we make constantly in our lives. Character doesn't just have to be displayed in grand gestures, but also in the small moments in our day-to-day lives. Character is not something we have, it is something we live by. Demonstrating good character won't always be easy, especially when you have to stand up for the right thing, even if it is difficult. May all of you sitting up here today continue to show respect for others around you, uphold this new responsibility, and know what is right from wrong, and continue to make a ripple effect in our community and school. I will now light the candle for the pillar of character.
Tarek Mashkaba will now speak on the pillar of leadership.
Good morning, everybody. I will be speaking on the pillar of leadership today. Now, when you hear the word leadership, what first comes to mind? For many of us, myself included at first, it'll be history's greatest leaders, generals who led their countries through brutal wars, or presidents who sparked nationwide change. Despite this initial conception, leadership isn't defined by these grand moments. In fact, leadership isn't something to be defined at all. Instead, leadership is a mindset that manifests itself in our everyday actions. Leadership is initiative. Whether it's school, work, or extracurriculars, we simply don't always have an authority figure telling us what to do. In these moments, a leader is ready and willing to take control of the situation. More importantly, a leader knows how to take initiative. Rather than trying to do everything themselves, a leader listens to others and makes every other person feel included. Leadership is virtue. Humans, as social creatures, naturally model those around us. A leader takes advantage of this neat fact by acting ethically, encouraging others to do the same, whether it's a large-scale initiative like our NHS projects, or something as small as cleaning up after oneself. Simply showcasing good behavior can be enough to spark a trend. Leadership is perseverance. Life is pretty unpredictable, and no plan is ever going to go perfectly. When things inevitably go wrong, a leader is prepared to adapt to the situation and find the next best option. In the face of uncertainty, a leader creates the path for others to follow. Leadership is reliability. A leader cannot be expected to have followers without trust. Instead, a leader must work hard to earn the respect of their peers. This trust can come from many different sources, simply being prepared for their commitments, staying true to the words they say, and offering a shoulder to lean on are all ways for a leader to build that trust. Leadership is positivity. Oftentimes, offering just a little bit of positivity and encouragement can turn someone's day around. Greeting people as you pass by them in the hallways, congratulating people on their small successes, and keeping a positive attitude towards individual or team endeavors are all great ways for a leader to build that positive culture we all want to pursue. Leadership is cooperation. As one of 5 siblings, I know that arguments are an inevitable part of our lives. But although these disagreements are going to happen regardless, a leader knows how to handle such situations, listening to and understanding all the different perspectives in an argument, finding a middle ground that compromises the needs of all sides, and keeping the discussion constructive rather than critical are necessary parts of solving the arguments and necessary parts of being a leader. Now, I know that I previously said I wasn't going to define leadership, but I've changed my mind. According to the National Honor Society, leadership is more than a position or a title. It means embodying the spirit of initiative, innovation, and influence. Through the many examples of leadership we've explored, the true meaning of leadership becomes clear. Leadership isn't a title you earn one day and carry for the rest of your life. Instead, leadership is a mindset that shows itself in the ordinary moments. Anyone can be a leader, regardless of who you are, so long as you're willing to embrace the qualities of leadership we've seen today. So, when we hear the word leadership, perhaps we should think less about battlefields and great speeches, and more about group projects and local events. Leadership isn't exclusive to a position or a person. It's a constant part of the quiet choices we choose to make every day, and it's available to all of us. I will now light the candle for the pillar of leadership.
Speaking on the pillar of service is Andrew Helmick.
In a world where nearly everything has a price tag, we're led to believe that our most valuable possession is money. Success is measured in salaries, worth is defined in dollar signs, and we assume that giving has to come from our wallets. But truthfully, our most precious resource is something we can never get back, something we expend every moment of our lives without realizing its worth, our time. More than the digits on a savings account might, the way we spend our time defines who we are. Some invest it in themselves, while others choose to give it away. And that's what service is. It's a willingness to give not what's easiest, but what's most meaningful. And this spirit of service is nothing new. Time and time again, the world has seen individuals who have dedicated their lives to others and truly transformed the world through their altruism. Consider the legacy of a figure like Martin Luther King Jr., a visionary who fought tirelessly for justice, civil rights, and equality. While he's widely recognized for his powerful speeches and peaceful protests, it was his unwavering commitment to service which truly defined his impact. Notwithstanding his many personal sacrifices, Dr. King continued to devote his time and spirit to the fight for justice, stating that life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Dr. King's legacy is a reminder that service isn't necessarily easy, but it creates lasting transformative change that resounds across communities. To put it plainly, service can be difficult. For each of you sitting on this stage, you've had to balance a life filled with responsibilities, pursuing academic excellence, exhibiting strong leadership, and forging the highest standards of moral character. With such invariably demanding schedules, it's easy to feel like you never have enough time to give, easy to believe someone else will step up, easy to question whether your efforts truly make a difference. But service requires intention, commitment, and personal sacrifice. Without seeking recognition, you choose what's right over what's convenient. Ultimately, it's when service is the more difficult choice that it becomes the most meaningful. That is when you will experience the deepest sense of achievement and fulfillment, because real change is not born from comfort, but from a drive to make a difference. It is this very dedication to serving others that we recognize in each of you today. Service is not just something to check off a to-do list, nor another requirement to fulfill, nor another activity to add to a resume. It's a core value that defines the National Honor Society. Today we recognize you inductees not only for your distinguished achievements, but for your willingness to share your time and abilities to serve others. The pillar of service should remind you that it's not about logging hours or meeting quotas. It's about effectuating change and choosing to give without expecting anything in return. Each of our inductees have demonstrated commitment to this ideal through the ways they've given back to our school, our community, and our world. Today, they reaffirm their promise to continue to lead and serve with empathy, benevolence, and resolve. I will now light the candle for the pillar of service.
Arnav Bide will give the final speech on the pillar of scholarship.
The purpose of education is never to throw seemingly useless facts, boring history, and purposeless formulas at your head. The goal isn't to lock kids in a building and hope they remember a thing or two after they leave. The target is to get students to want to learn, because if kids don't actively want to learn, they simply won't. As Ralph Waldo Emerson put it, the things taught in schools are not an education, but the means to an education. The school system tries to teach us many topics, but the most important thing it could possibly do is inspire a desire to learn. The ideal of scholarship single-handedly fuels change. After all, the geniuses of every era did not succeed just because they were smart or because they had natural talent. They succeeded because they loved what they did and wanted to create positive change in the world. True scholarship is not achieved through intellect, but through passion, determination, strong will. The greatest scientific and technological minds the world has ever seen directly prove this point. Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, Thomas Edison, and Steve Jobs all famously struggled in school. And yet, as we've seen, they have managed to thrive, to excel in their sphere. What every one of these historic figures has in common is that they all had a passion for their fields and used their motivation to learn at the highest level and impact the lives of everyone around them. And yet, it's not that simple. If it was so easy to cultivate scholarship, we wouldn't need to talk about it right now. Barriers have always existed to prevent people from reaching their full potential and stand in the way for each and every one of us in this room from doing so. However, rather than thinking of these restrictions as permanent, they can be fought through aspiring for change. My mind goes to Marie Curie, the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the only person to win one in multiple fields. Although her achievements show scholarship in and of itself, it is also seen through her breaking of systemic barriers. I further think of W.E.B. Du Bois, the first black man to get a PhD from Harvard, who co-founded the NAACP and pioneered racial activism through education. Du Bois is a paramount example of scholarship through obstacles. These examples prove to us how necessary it is to push the boundaries of our limitations and aim to flourish, especially when it seems impossible. The pillar of scholarship is important because it puts a direct focus on the mental power that makes society run and the future happen. By acknowledging the importance of the pursuit of knowledge, we make it easier for the next generation to do it as well. Knowledge is powerful, and so the National Honor Society recognizes the students who realize and cherish the ideal of scholarship. For the last 3 years, this group of inductees has embodied that value. They've shown us time and time again not only how to achieve, but why it is important to achieve. They've worked hard not only to maintain their GPA, but also to truly understand why it is important to strive for higher education. Because without that understanding, the GPA itself is meaningless. Any one of us has the potential to be the next Einstein or Edison, the next Curie or Du Bois. Whether it be motivating ourselves to unlock our potential or removing the barriers preventing ourselves from doing so, everyone has the innate power to fuel change. Sitting behind me are the new generation of thinkers, of scholars. They've shown us what it means to uphold the pillar of scholarship and will continue to do so as they follow this path. I will now light the candle for the pillar of scholarship.
Now, please join me in welcoming one of our own, our keynote speaker and a teacher here at Canfield High School, Mr. Michael Strohecker.
It is a privilege and an honor to be here today. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak and to share with each of you, and I say that because I may never have you in class or get to know you as a person or develop a relationship with you. So this isn't taken lightly. So I'd like to ask you to allow me to share my heart with you today, but only for today. I am aware that we are here to celebrate these students for their accomplishment in earning position in the National Honor Society. I'd like to congratulate you. Well done. But I will be honest, and don't take this the wrong way. But in a few years, nobody will remember this. It doesn't take away from what you've accomplished, but this surely shouldn't define you. And that's what I want to challenge you with today. Your identity. We are all looking for our place and purpose in this world. And at some point, I believe all of us have asked ourselves the question, who am I? Know this, your position is not who you are. I've held many positions, a teacher, a dad, a friend, a brother, an uncle, a coach. Those are all positions I've had in my life, but they're not who I am. You are all students, sons and daughters, athletes, musicians, and artists. Those are all positions and titles, that you have, and many of them will undoubtedly change throughout your lifetime. They are not your identity. You may identify with those positions, but at your core, it's not who you are. So we have a group of students here with the position of being in NHS, and a group of you in the position of being out there. Allow me to do a little illustration. Folsom, where are you? Let's go. Hurry up. Go sit in that seat real quick. Thanks, buddy. What changed? Nothing. Just your position. You're still in the NHS. This position or accomplishment or title is not your identity, any more than those who haven't gotten in NHS. It's not your identity. I could move. I can go sit in that seat. I'd still be the keynote speaker of today. My position would have just changed. So the question I have is this: should any of us be treated any differently based on our position, based on our identity? Sadly, many of us are treated or treat people based on that premise. Allow me to lay a quick foundation of where I'm coming from. 7 years ago, I was able to speak here at the NHS Assembly, and as I did before, I humbly shared that I am no different than you, nor all the other adults, parents, teachers, and coaches in this room or in your life. We're all just people trying to find our way through life, enjoy each day, find purpose and meaning in all life has to offer. Our only difference is we're a little bit older, which only means we have more life experience, which only means more failures to have learned from, which only means we've had more time to be wrong and make mistakes while we grew and learned. That's where our wisdom comes from. And you'll get there soon enough. And I would expect you're all on your way. So let's learn to give ourselves and others the grace and mercy to walk that journey out. I'm not different from you. I ask today to not be formally introduced. You all only know me by my position here, a teacher. So please allow me to introduce myself to you, not as Mr. Strohecker, not as Stro, but as Michael. I was kicked out of kindergarten. I saw 2 of my families broken by divorce. I spent most of my childhood splitting time with families in Ohio and Florida. I was cut from my high school baseball team, and then I sat the bench on my college baseball team. I've been divorced. I have family members who are gay, had an uncle who was junkie and overdosed, and I see a counselor. And guess what? I love it. The opportunity for self-discovery is enlightening. I'll be straight up with you. I don't have all the answers or have it all figured out. I don't think anyone does. And if they tell you they do, they're lying. But I'm working on it. Throughout my life, I've made many stupid decisions. I've had bad habits. Everyone is dealing with something. Life is a process that we must respect as we grow and learn, as we have successes and failures, mountaintop experiences, and those walks through the valleys. That's the beauty of life. Those things don't define who I am. They had an effect. They may have shaped my experience, but I've learned to give myself grace and mercy along my journey only because grace and mercy have been given to me. And I hope you do as well. The one thing you can control in all of this is how you respond. How many of you have had struggles in life? Guess what? You're still here. You may have been bruised, but you're not crushed. Broken, not destroyed. They didn't defeat you. They made you into who you are today, but only for today. There are always opportunities to learn and grow, but are you willing? So what is your identity? It's simply this. You, as a uniquely created individual, are loved. And because of that, each of you have the capacity to love. Even the 4 pillars of NHS, scholarship, service, leadership, character, have a foundation of love. Love for self and learning, love for others in service and leadership. But you don't have to be a member of NHS to do those things. Seth Walker, are you here? Is Seth here? I don't know. Most of you know Seth Walker. I'll tell you a quick story as I finish up. I've been here for 24 years, and this semester I was charged with the task of teaching 2 new classes that I have never taught before. I was nervous, I was scared, I was overwhelmed. I didn't know how I was going to pull it off. I had to create the curriculum from scratch. And in my sports officiating class, I told the young men at the beginning of the year this is what was going to happen. I don't know what it's going to look like, but be patient with me. And I struggled. I was out of my comfort zone. And I remember one day thinking about it, and I went up to Seth Walker and I said, Seth, how's class going? I trust Seth. I respect Seth. I wanted his honest opinion. And he looked at me and he said, Stro, you're being too hard on yourself. Quit taking yourself so seriously. You're doing a good job. We're having fun. Thank you for that, Seth. You probably don't remember that, but I do. So when you talk about character and service and leadership, that was it. In a very simple but meaningful moment for me. So what do I say to all of that? And all of you in this room? I love you. I love you. And you might ask me how I can say that. First, because I know I'm loved by God through his son Jesus. I'm loved by my family and my friends, and this truth freely allows me to love in return. I may not be liked or loved by everyone. That's not realistic. But not everybody accepted or loved Jesus, even though he defined love. And he still chose to love. So do I. Second, I can love you because when I look at you in my classroom in the hallways, I see me. I see my 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old self who went through many of the same struggles, asked the same questions, had the same doubts and fears. So because I've learned to love myself, I can love you. Understand you are loved. It may not always feel like it, but love, like any other emotion, is not just a feeling, it's a choice. Because I have a little ADHD, I forgot to mention that one. Let's jump back to identity and position real quick. Your position is not who you are. Your title and accomplishments are not who you are. What you do is not who you are. None of those things define your identity. And when we get down to it, nobody cares about your titles, accomplishments, GPA, job, financial status, what kind of clothes you wear, how talented you were, or how athletic you were. People only really care about how you made them feel. What if they said he was an amazing athlete, but he was a jerk? She was beautiful, always dressed nice and popular, but she was a stuck-up snob. Live your life from a position of love for yourself and others, Give yourself some grace as you navigate life and be willing to give grace to the others around you, just trying to navigate it as well. I think we'd all be better off if we did that, because we were never meant to do life alone. Teachers, love your students. Isn't that really the root of why we do this? Parents, love your kids. Pretty soon, especially for you senior parents, they're going to be gone. Students, love your teachers, parents, and fellow students. We are all bound up in our love for each other. We don't have to like everyone, and yes, people, our kids, our parents, our teachers can be annoying and frustrating and even disappoint us. But don't we ourselves do that with others? Relationships can be tough. Love one another in spite of that, because love covers a multitude of offenses. Most people begin their speech with a quote from a famous person. I'll end mine with these. By returning to Jesus, my first love, who taught me to love. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, looking not to your own interest, but each of you to the interest of others. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. But catch this one. The second is equally important. Love your neighbors as yourself. No other commandment is greater than these. And what does that love look like? Love is patient. It's kind. It does not envy or boast. It's not proud. It does not dishonor others. It's not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs, and love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes. Thank God it always perseveres. Now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. So my challenge to you all today, everyone in this room, during this weekend where many of us remember the single greatest act of love, because you are dearly loved by God, I pray you learn to love yourself and love one another. Thank you.
Mr. Strohecker, thank you. Thank you for sharing your heart with us today. Mr. Folsom, would you please return to your original position? That's okay. Thanks, Nick. One of the most rewarding aspects of teaching is watching students excel, not only in the classroom, but seeing them mature and grow as people. And these juniors and seniors seated before you today have accomplished much through dedication and hard work. They have met and in many cases surpassed the requirements needed for membership into the National Honor Society. A stiff criteria that requires a cumulative GPA of 3.50, participating in a minimum of 2 school activities each year of high school, and a positive evaluation of their character and leadership by their teachers, coaches, and advisors. They've spent countless hours studying, researching, and completing their projects, practicing their sports and speeches, rehearsing their music and their plays, and yet they willingly give of their time and talents to help others. We're here this morning to congratulate these juniors and to publicly recognize their accomplishments and encourage them to continue to grow and to always be willing to offer a helping hand to those around them. But also deserving recognition this morning are the parents, families, teachers, as well as the many others who have spent countless hours helping these students, loving them, and encouraging them to be the people they are today. Would you please join me in giving the parents, families, friends, teachers, and administrators a round of applause for their hard work? Each year, we present the Leadership and Service Award to an NHS student who personifies the pillar of service. Many factors are considered when determining the recipient of this award. These factors include one's attitude, enthusiasm, willingness towards serving others, the number of hours of community service performed over the past 4 years, any positions of leadership that they've held, and the depth and the quality of their senior service project. Our recipient this year has demonstrated that service to others is so much more than just the 20-hour minimum. Our intent for the Pillar of Service is that students would get involved in the community, that they would realize that they can make a difference in the world around them, sometimes just one life at a time, and that service to others should be a lifelong endeavor. Our goal for this pillar is that students find something that they enjoy doing, do it well, and do it often. Over the past 4 years, this young man has logged over 205 hours of community service. His service resume includes volunteering at St. Michael's Church, the Canfield Rotary, the CHS Craft Show, the Youngstown Italian Fest, assisting local teachers in setting up classrooms for the start of the school year, helping with end-of-course testing venues, but his true passion is piano and music theory. Over the past 4 years, he's taught many students the basics of keyboard technique, music theory, and as he puts it, everything else in between. He has also served lunch at the Mission and helped tutor middle school students. And in everything, he is always enthusiastic, always smiling, always willing to serve others. For his service project, he and another student organized and assembled a music ensemble and toured several local nursing homes, bringing holiday cheer to the residents and the staff there. The recipient of our Leadership and Service Award has also thrived in multiple leadership roles as a senior and junior class officer, a PBIS, primetime rep, a sectional leader in choir, captain of the swim and dive team. He's also a member of Leo's Club, Young Leaders, and Chem Club. Truly, this young man has learned the value of positively leading and serving others. His enthusiasm, his energy are contagious. Please join me in congratulating this year's recipient of the Leadership and Service Award, Andrew Helmick. Would our current NHS seniors please rise? Mr. Ruark and I have really enjoyed working with these seniors and would like to take this opportunity to publicly thank them for their service and dedication to their school, this community, and this NHS chapter. This year alone, these individuals have logged more than 1,750 hours of community service, served lunch to approximately 1,320 men and women at the Mission, tutored and mentored dozens of middle school students this entire school year through the After School Haven program. In addition, they have designed, organized, implemented, and managed their own service projects. I'd also like to take a moment and thank Lauren Padgett and Sophia Nelson for their attention to detail in coordinating this ceremony, to Aubrey Vernon and her group for helping us with lights and sound. Please join me in thanking our seniors. Thank you, seniors. Please be seated. Juniors, you guys have heard some pretty strong words today regarding character, leadership, service, and scholarship. You've heard testimony of the accomplishments of those that have gone before you. Being a member of NHS is both a privilege and an honor, but with that honor comes great responsibility. Grasp the baton being handed to you now and run with strength your leg of the race. I challenge you always, work hard. Be people of integrity. Be compassionate toward others, and always be willing to offer a helping hand. Very simply, when you find a need, fill it. So class of 2026, will you continue to hold yourself to the standards and ideals of NHS? Will you strive to reach the bar already set for you and push it even higher? If so, inductees, it's your turn to stand. Please stand and repeat after me the pledge for membership. Realizing the honor which has been presented to me by the election into the National Honor Society, I pledge myself to uphold the strong ideals and high standards this organization represents. I will venture further in my goals and strive to serve as an example for my fellow students. I will promote the betterment of my school, myself, and this organization to which I have been elected. Service to others, a broadening of my friendships, and a development of my intellect will serve as my desired attainment. I pledge myself to develop the 4 ideals of the National Honor Society and strive ceaselessly to make them a part of my life now and hereafter. Congratulations, I now present to you the newest members of the Canfield chapter of the National Honor Society.
In closing, Lauren, Mr. Rourke, Mr. Wenzel, and I would like to thank all of those who helped with today's ceremony. Without the help of our wonderful custodians, technicians, cafeteria workers, secretaries, Mr. Seacrest, and Dr. Potts, we would not have been able to honor the inductees as we did today. We would also like to thank all our families, teachers, and administrators for their support. As we dismiss, students will go to their 3rd block class or lunch. Parents and inductees, just a reminder that Send Photography is set up in the athletic foyer for pictures. Thank you again for coming, and congratulations again to the class of 2026 inductees. Thank you.